Breaking: Africa has just entered the space race. Not with a press release, not with a partnership, but with a secret, unannounced, undetected, and totally unexpected. Burkina Faso, a small West African nation, has launched something that has global powers scrambling, military analysts confused, intelligence agencies stunned, and a continent awakening. Under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the youngest head of state in Africa, something historic just happened. The launch of Africa's first covert aerospace program. Today we dive into what Traoré is building, and why the world should be paying attention. At just 35 years old, Captain Ibrahim Traoré leads Burkina Faso with the force of vision and the defiance of youth. After taking power in 2022 during a wave of revolutionary momentum, he vowed to restore sovereignty, dignity, and power to his people. But few could have predicted what was coming: an aerospace program. A project so secret, not even his closest neighbors were aware until now. So how did the world find out? In late June 2025, commercial satellite trackers noticed several restricted airspace zones above central Burkina Faso. Then came the test flights, unidentified aerial vehicles, high-altitude motion, and radiation bursts only associated with rocket propulsion systems. By July, schematics leaked, believed to be internal blueprints of a satellite system codenamed Nakala. And then silence from Ouagadougou. No confirmation, no denial, just action. What could this secret space program actually include? Satellite surveillance, to secure Burkina Faso's airspace and borders, especially as the Sahel faces instability. Encrypted communication systems, independent from Western infrastructure. Weather and agricultural monitoring, crucial for a nation pivoting from aid to self-sufficiency. Military drones or hypersonic test flights. That's still speculative, but growing more plausible. Traoré's leadership style is built on surprise, on reclaiming what was once seen as out of reach. And now, outer space is no longer off the table. Is Burkina Faso really going at this alone? There are whispers of collaboration. Russia. Stronger ties since the French military exit. Aerospace specialists have reportedly visited the region. Iran or North Korea. Some analysts speculate technology swaps. China. While not confirmed, their silent diplomacy and satellite access in Africa makes this a possibility. Whether it's tech support or training, Traoré seems to be building a multipolar alliance outside traditional Western control. Why does this matter beyond Burkina Faso? Because it signals a shift. A new generation of African leaders no longer looking for validation from former colonial powers, but instead building their own sovereign futures. Space programs, military manufacturing, AI development. Africa is no longer a passive player. It's becoming a builder. And Traoré is part of a new Pan-African wave, alongside Mali, Niger, and even Ghana, seeking self-determination not just on Earth, but above it. Inside NATO and French intelligence circles, this program has raised alarm. Why? Because it marks a complete break from dependency, a military shift, and most importantly, an information blackout. One official told Le Monde anonymously, "We no longer have eyes on what they're building." Another, "This could lead to an arms race in Africa if not monitored." But the real question is, why does Africa need to be monitored at all, when the same powers ignore their own decades of surveillance and dominance? Among ordinary citizens in Ouagadougou, the space program has sparked pride. "We are not children anymore," said one student. "We're finally building for ourselves." Traoré, whether you support or fear him, has lit a fire among African youth, a vision of autonomy, sovereignty, and limitless possibility. To them, this isn't just about a satellite. It's about breaking gravity, political gravity, escaping the pull of centuries-old domination. So what's next? Full satellite deployment? Public reveal of Burkina Faso's tech capacity? A joint Pan-African space alliance? What's certain is this: the world will never see Africa the same again. Because when one of the poorest nations on Earth dares to reach for the stars, it sends a message no one can ignore. The future isn't written in Washington, or Paris, or Beijing. This being written in Ouagadougou, in silence, in code, and now in orbit. This is the age of the African frontier, and it has already begun.
Unveiling Traoré, Africa's bold leap into the cosmos, the secret space program you didn't know existed. The world recently got a sneak peek at something extraordinary. But what caught our attention wasn't about a space enthusiast with a telescope or a viral photo of the cosmos. The Burkina Faso Force unveiled its latest acquisition, a Dornier 228 maritime surveillance aircraft. But there was more to this event than met the eye. It was a testament to the remarkable strides that Burkina Faso is making in the realm of aerospace technology. In an era where innovation knows no bounds, this African nation is proving that it is not just the superpowers that can make waves in the cosmos. It's a story that resonates with those who dare to dream big and challenge conventional limits. Its primary purpose is to detect and track vessels, making it an ideal platform for tasks like border patrol and search and rescue operations. But here's where things get interesting. These surveillance capabilities have a much broader application. They can be used not only for maritime security, but also for monitoring airspace, a critical aspect of any space program. With its advanced radar and tracking systems, the Dornier 228 can effectively keep tabs on objects moving through the atmosphere, a crucial capability for any country looking to establish a strong space presence. In recent years, African nations have shown a growing interest in harnessing the power of space technology for their development. What kind of technologies is the country developing, and how will they impact the region and the world? To answer these questions, we need to delve deeper into the heart of Africa's space revolution. In 2023 alone, African countries launched a record number of satellites into space. This has led to calls for greater cooperation and coordination among African nations to ensure the safety and sustainability of space exploration in the region. Let's take a closer look at some of the most exciting developments on the continent. The country has also made significant progress in developing its space infrastructure, including a new space center that is set to become a hub for space activities in the region. The country launched its first satellite, the Nigerian Sat-1, in 2006 and has since developed several other satellites for communication, weather forecasting, and disaster management. South Africa has a long history of space exploration and was once a major player in the global space industry. The country has produced several notable scientists and engineers who have made significant contributions to the field of space technology. Burkina Faso is also investing in human capital, training a new generation of scientists and engineers who will be at the forefront of its space program. The country's government has ambitious plans for the future, setting a goal of launching its first satellite into space by 2030. This goal aligns with the country's broader development strategy, which aims to transform Burkina Faso into a major regional hub for science, technology, and innovation. Do you think Burkina Faso's secretive space program is a cause for concern, or is it simply a sign of the country's ambition and innovation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Together, let us continue to explore the hidden corners of our world and uncover the stories that shape our future. With its strategic location in the heart of Africa, Burkina Faso has the potential to play a major role in advancing the African space industry. The country's government is committed to making this a reality, investing in infrastructure and partnerships that will drive innovation and economic growth in the country's space sector. The country has established partnerships with several international organizations, including the European Space Agency, to provide its citizens with access to cutting-edge space technology and expertise. As more and more African countries invest in space exploration, the continent is poised to become a major player in the global space industry. From Egypt to Kenya, Nigeria, and beyond, African nations are making impressive strides in developing their space capabilities. Until next time, keep looking up and keep asking questions. The answers may just surprise you. In Burkina Faso, though small in size, is punching above its weight, setting its sights on becoming a major player in the African space industry. With its commitment to investment, human capital and international partnerships, Burkina Faso is laying the foundation for a bright future in space exploration. Kenya has also been making impressive strides in the space sector. In 2018, the country launched its first satellite, the Kenya Sat-1, which has been used for a variety of applications, including land and marine resource management. Despite these challenges, the African space sector continues to grow and evolve. With continued investment and innovation, African countries are poised to make even greater strides in the years to come. These satellites are being used for a variety of purposes, including monitoring environmental changes, providing accurate weather forecasts, enhancing disaster response, and improving telecommunications. With continued investment and innovation, Africa is poised to become a major player in the global space industry. How is this small nation fitting into the bigger picture? Burkina Faso may be a small country, but it's punching above its weight when it comes to space exploration. In recent years, the country has made significant investments in its space program, setting its sights on becoming a major player in the African space industry. But this increased activity hasn't come without its challenges. Countries like Egypt, Kenya, and Nigeria have invested heavily in their space programs, launching satellites for Earth observation, communication, and even navigation. But in recent years, it's begun to gain momentum as African nations realize the immense potential of space technology. From Earth observation to telecommunications, navigation, and scientific research, space-based solutions can provide invaluable insights and services that can drive economic growth and improve the quality of life for millions of people across the continent. However, Burkina Faso's approach is different. Instead of investing in traditional space technologies, the country has taken a more clandestine approach, developing a sophisticated aerospace industry that operates largely out of the public eye. Why did they choose this particular aircraft? What are the capabilities of the Dornier 228? And how do these seemingly ordinary planes fit into the bigger picture? How does a small African nation like Burkina Faso find itself at the forefront of a groundbreaking space program? What makes this achievement even more remarkable is the lack of fanfare that accompanied the announcement. There were no major news outlets covering the event. No international agencies took notice, and it barely made headlines within Burkina Faso itself. Why was this significant event kept under wraps? Stay tuned as we unpack the fascinating details behind this enigmatic event and explore what it means for Burkina Faso and Africa's future in the world of aerospace technology. By keeping their space program out of the limelight, the Burkina government may be aiming to prevent any potential interference from rival nations or international organizations. Well, to understand the reasons behind Burkina Faso's covert actions, we need to look at the broader context of its space program. This level of secrecy is not unusual in the field of aerospace technology, where national security and strategic advantages play a pivotal role. For instance, countries like China and North Korea have long been known to shroud their space programs in secrecy, often using civilian space projects as cover for developing advanced military technologies. It was about an official announcement that shook the very foundation of what we thought we knew about Burkina Faso. Did you know that this relatively unknown country is now home to the continent's first secretive space program? If you're new to our channel, consider subscribing to stay updated on our eye-opening explorations into the hidden corners of our world. After all, this German-made plane has been around since the late 1980s and was primarily designed for maritime surveillance, not space exploration. So what makes this particular aircraft so special? Let's unravel this mystery together. It all came to light during a ceremony that had everyone on edge. The recent event was much more than just an unveiling. Before we dive deeper into this intriguing topic, let's take a moment to appreciate your presence here. At first glance, the Dora 28 might seem like an odd choice for an ambitious space program. The Dora 228 is equipped with state-of-the-art surveillance systems that can monitor vast stretches of land and sea. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. In the complex world of international relations, secrecy is often the key ingredient in strategic planning. But why would a small African nation like Burkina Faso need to go to such lengths? What could they possibly be hiding, and what are the implications of this secrecy? The country's decision to develop its own aerospace industry is part of a larger trend across Africa. This raises several questions. What are the driving forces behind Burkina Faso's secretive space program? Africa's space revolution is not a new phenomenon. In fact, it's been brewing for several decades. One of the most significant developments in Africa's space sector has been the growing number of satellite launches. As more and more satellites are launched into orbit, the risk of collisions and space debris increases. What's happening in the world of African space technology today? Egypt has emerged as a regional leader in space technology, successfully launching its first satellite into orbit in 2016. Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa, has also been investing heavily in its space program. Overall, the African space sector is characterized by a growing number of national space agencies, universities, and private companies that are all working together to advance the continent's space capabilities. And what about Burkina Faso? The country's government is committed to investing in space exploration and has allocated significant resources to developing the country's space infrastructure. So what does the future hold for Burkina Faso's space program? In conclusion, the space revolution in Africa is well underway. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Africa's growing interest in space technology? Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery.